A Shiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org/Shiro today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't let biased algorithms or degree screens or exclusive professional networks or stereotypes. Don't let anything keep you from discovering the half of the workforce who are stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time to tear the paper ceiling and see the stars beyond it. Find out how you can make stars part of your talent strategy at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Live from the 93.7 The Ticket studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Lloyd's in Lincoln with former Syracuse Orange and Long Beach State basketball star Ramel Lloyd Sr. and current Nebraska basketball athlete Ramel Lloyd Jr. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here are your hosts, Ramel Sr. and Ramel Jr.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. It's going to be a good one. They're always good ones, but Lloyd's and Lincoln keep changing the standard in storytelling for this thing and letting folks know. I'm DP, 402-464-5685. There's the Starter Hammond text line. You want to be a part of what we're doing, go ahead and reach out. The live streaming, you can check out everything. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter Live, and Allo Channel 951. Be a part of what we're doing, and it's a good one. Let me bring in the big man himself. Brother Rock, what's happening this morning?
Happy Sunday. Good day.
It's a good day to have a good day, bro. We're going to do this. There are occasions when we get to pull back the curtain to athletics and show the people.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that sports is just the vehicle. People is why it matters. So as you know more, and we want the folks in Lincoln to get to know more about the Lloyd family. That's why we're doing this show. And you have stepped up the game, juniors at practice.
Yeah.
And you decided, you know what? I'm gonna sink myself down to subterfuge, and I'm gonna let mom and daughter come in, not knowing that I'm gonna put them to work today.
Yeah.
Introduce the family.
Well, first of all, like we already said, Ramel's at practice today, so he couldn't be here. So I miss my co-host, but he got more important things to do this morning. Right.
First things first.
Right. First things first. Second thing is, got family in town coming to visit, and I don't think they was expecting to come to work today this morning. They kind of wanted to just come and watch and see what we do over here and be in the background, but we got them in the booth.
We got them in.
We got them in the booth.
We got them in.
So what we want to do, we're going to introduce Mom over here, Pam. Welcome to the show. And we're going to introduce my daughter, Taylor. Welcome to the show. So they're gonna take the place. We don't know how long they're gonna be on the show, but we just want to introduce them to the people.
This first segment, we can dance a little bit.
Yeah, we'll make some adjustments.
I make a good dance partner, and this is where we are. First of all, Queen Juan, thank you for trusting Lincoln with your family. Like, that's a real thing. You've been here a couple of times, and we've gotten to meet and be in the space, but. What's it say about what are your thoughts about Lincoln? You've been here a couple of times. What comes to your mind when somebody says, when you tell people, hey, I'm going to Lincoln, Nebraska?
Surprise.
Right?
Surprise. As being coastal people, we lived in New York, we lived in California. We've never really been in the middle.
Right.
And coming to the middle was different. We never expected to come to the middle. We didn't know about the middle.
Right.
So we're really surprised at what Lincoln offers, and pleasantly surprised what Lincoln offers.
Can I say I want to congratulate you because I met Rock almost 2 decades ago.
Mhm.
And to meet your family, it is the mission of the elders and the parents to just create situations, circumstances for success. What you've done with this family, this is your fruit. You are one incredible tree. Let me just say that. Well
Thank
done.
you.
I agree.
Thank
I
you.
agree, DP. I agree.
Thank you very much.
I agree. And we also want to say happy birthday, happy belated. Yesterday was Mom's birthday, and we got a chance to celebrate.
Okay.
So that's kind of why we in town. Actually, we was in town last year at the same time
Right.
for
Yes.
Mom's birthday.
Okay.
We kind of did the same deal. My birthday is Wednesday, so we kind of always try to celebrate our birthdays together because only four days and 20 years. Exactly. So we always try to be together for our birthday. So I'm blessed to have Moms in town this week, and definitely blessed to see my daughter. That was a surprise. It kind of surprised me with this one. I didn't know she was coming.
Happy birthday, and happy
Thank
belated birthday.
Yeah.
Miss Taylor, if you would please let me. This is interesting because I've met the rest of your family, and when somebody says describe your family, have you ever been asked to describe your family? Like,
Yeah.
okay, so give me the scouting report on your family.
Whenever people see me and my family, they always think it's just me, mom, dad, granny, and brother. But I have an older sister too, and everybody's always so surprised when I say, "Yeah, me and Mel got someone that's older than me."
Right.
So it's always fun. And everybody's like, "What? You have a sister? What?" Yeah, I do. We do. So it's 3 of us. It's not just me and Mel. It's 3 of us. So
Yeah, these were the 2 ballers. So people always assume that they're the only 2 because they both play basketball and they were in the gym and stuff. The older one didn't play, so a lot of people don't know she's even around. She's always in the background in the stands, but the ballers, I guess, got the attention.
Well, but so give us the scouting report on Taylor as a baller.
I've been playing basketball since I was in like elementary school. So I've always been around basketball with my father playing basketball. So we've always kind of gravitated to basketball. Like we've played other sports, but basketball is just what stuck. Wanted to be like dad.
Yeah.
I played, and then I played top travel ball teams in the country. Then I went on and played at Long Beach Poly, won a powerhouse country, and played 4 years for Carl Bugs. So, yeah, we've been around basketball forever.
Well, don't sell yourself short, because we have to put a coach in front of in front of her.
Right.
Yeah. We have to say Coach Lloyd. I like Coach Lloyd.
I go by Coach T.
Right.
I gotta differdifferentiate myself from my daddy. Can't be
That's
Coach.
why I like Coach Lloyd. I like to get a little credit.
You want the credit, but
Taylor's currently coaching at Fullerton College women's basketball, and I'm really proud of her as she is continuing to finish her education as well at the same time and coaching. So this young lady has a bright future in the game. I'm proud.
This is where I keep saying you and I have had these conversations about Kismet and being in the space. That when I was out in Orange County, I was out in Brea. That before I left and went back to Salt Lake City, I almost took coaching job at Fullerton.
What do we say about the universe? Right?
Universe don't miss.
Well done.
Universe don't miss.
That's my God. DP. Universe don't miss.
Oh no, that is fantastic. And it says there's so much to it. So, Mom, when did you know that Ramel was built for this existence, this basketball world that he was walking into?
Which Ramel?
Senior.
Well, the other one ain't here, so it's definitely me today.
Yeah.
Well, I refer to him as Rock. He's always been Rock to me. Started off as Rocky, but now he's grown into Rock.
Right.
He started playing basketball when he was 10 years old, and started playing. And my husband said, he's really good. And I said, are you just saying that because that's your kid? He said, no, he's pretty good. And when he first started out, he was always a thick guy, and they referred to him as the Charles Barkley of the 5th grade.
Yeah.
So from there, it just continued to grow and continue to soar until he was really special.
This is the journey is why all this stuff matters.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what did mom give you that you carry with you first and foremost?
Well, my mom, obviously a lot of my parenting skills come from my mother. She set the example for what our family base is going to be about. And, my mother just have unwaveringly support and love for me. No matter what, the support was there. Obviously, she loved me, as a mom. But when you're talking about support is everything, especially in the sports. we're talking the sports world right now. So, as a young kid, or any young kid playing sports and growing up and going through all these different trials and tribulations, I mean, we always tend to talk about the good times, right? Because, that's what people could kind of relate to, and they kind of want to hear the success stories and stuff. But there's so much of this basketball journey is extremely tough, extremely painful. No matter how good you are, and I was very good, especially in high school and coming up. I was one of the top players in the country easily, and just had so many rough times, right? So that's the more important to have your family and your support system there when you're going through times where you feel like you want to quit, where times where you feel like you're not good enough, where times where you feel like you didn't perform, times where you just couldn't cope with not having success. I mean, all of those things, you really, really need your support system. And to even go even further with that, I had one of the worst years probably in my life when I was at Syracuse as a freshman. Syracuse was my dream school. I could have went any school I wanted to in the country, and I wanted to go to Syracuse University. I love the school. I still love the school. And of course, things didn't go the way I planned for them to go that year. But now when I look back as an adult, the process that I was going through was somewhat ordinary, really. But I expect, so much from myself. I had a lot of pressure on me being on the top player coming out of New York City. And I felt like I was playing for my whole state, right? I was representing my state as a freshman. And then I didn't succeed the way that I expected to succeed. I averaged like 4.6 a game as a freshman. I averaged like 15 minutes. And the team had just went to the national championship the year before. So when I look back at it, I was like, oh, it actually wasn't too bad for a freshman, right? I could have, whatever. But my expectations were so high. So to go back to the story is I was like extremely depressed, disappointed. I don't know, every word that you can describe that you could imagine. And, my support system was I needed it. I don't know what I would have done without it. And, my mom at the time was obviously and still is my biggest supporter. So when I transferred, I actually was going to transfer to Louisville. I actually committed to Louisville and was going to head to Kentucky. And this is where Coach Crum, R.I.P. Coach Crum, just passed away. Great man. And I think they got into a little bit of probation and got some issues. So I decided to go to Long Beach State, where where the head coach at Long Beach State, he recruited me since I was 13 years old at Syracuse. So he was my head recruiter at Syracuse for all of these years. I had a relationship with him. So I didn't want to really take any chances of going anywhere where I had to get to know the coach and know who he was. So end up going to Long Beach State. I had never been to California in my life before. In fact, when I was coming out of high school and people were recruiting me, I was so gun-ho and locked into the Big East that I told every school outside of the Big East, don't even bother calling me, right? Yeah, I had UCLA, Indiana, like all these top schools. I said, no disrespect, but I'm going to the Big East, so there's no need to even call me. So I've never even opened my mind up to different things, and definitely not expecting to go to California. I had never been to California. I had no interest in going to California at all. I was a straight New York City kid. So going back to the story about moms and the support, I ended up going to Long Beach State. At the time, we had to sit out for a year. When you transferred, you had the red shirt year mandatory when you transferred. I sat out that year by myself. I think my cousin moved out there with me to give me some support. And then who shows up next year? Who do you think showed up to give me some support? It's moms. So that's the story of how we got to California.
I'm still there.
Moms came out because I had a young family. I was trying to graduate from college. I was trying to make the NBA, and I had already started my young family. So we made a family decision that moms would come out and she would help, and she's been there ever since. And here I am in Nebraska doing the same thing for my son. So some people may look at that as extreme, but sometimes extreme is what needs to be done and support. And I don't see it as extreme. I just see it as mandatory almost in a sense. So she's definitely laid the foundation for us for so many things. She continues to be the head of our family overall. There's not nothing that myself, my kids, my wife can ask of her that she won't do for us if she has the ability to do. So just laying that foundation for us, and it just teaches us how to be towards our kids, towards our family. And obviously to me, my family means everything to me. Like I don't have success without them, and I won't enjoy success if I didn't have them.
We are here with Ramel Lloyd Sr., his mother Pam, his daughter Taylor, Coach T.
Yeah, Coach T.
Coach T. Mom, I'll ask you this because there seems to be a strong coding. Were you an athlete?
I was not.
Right?
I was not. I wanted to be one.
Yeah.
But I grew up a very shy kid.
Yeah.
And you can't be shy and be an athlete.
Right.
And raising an athlete and seeing my grandkids just so proud of something. Boy, I wish I could have done that. And I'm glad that they're able to do it, and they're really good at it.
What's your biggest memory about his transfer from Syracuse to Long Beach?
Pain.
Yeah.
It was hard. It was really hard because we wanted this so much. He came out of high school, top player in his class, and the expectation was so high, and the promise of playing time, and it was recruitment.
Yeah.
And we took it for real. But it was recruitment. It's what college coaches did. They do continue to do.
Facts.
So, when it didn't happen in the way we wanted it to happen, the disappointment was really huge. It was really huge. There was a supporting cast at Syracuse who was really good to us. The late Louis Orr, great guy.
Love Louis.
Love Louis Orr
Yeah.
to still love Louis
Yeah.
Orr. But just having some of those really special people around us to support us and get us through. It was a hard time.
Do we as fans and media, do we miss the lead in that, in all of this transfer talk? We forget about the families, that this is not just, one, they came and got your young man or your young lady and put them in this conversation, but then you have to trust them. And if those words don't mean anything, it becomes extremely difficult for the parent to sit back and watch, because if you get too close, they'll say, hey, back off. You're not doing this. And if you're distant, they could take advantage of your young person.
Sure.
Absolutely.
What's your message to parents out there now? Because we have I can tell you, our fan base, we get questions from parents who have never been through this process. Now you're in the next generation of it. So you've seen a lot of it. You've heard a lot of it. What is your recommend? What's the one thing that a mom going through recruiting for the first time probably needs to know that she might be missing?
I would say to stay close. I would say to know and understand. Don't sit back and just be a fan. Be a part of the process. Talk to people, talk to other people who've been through the process. Know what the expectations are. Understand what the process is. If this happens, then that should happen. If this happens, then that should happen. Be a part of it. Be a student of the game, if you will. And I mean that recruitment game.
Yeah.
Know the colleges. Know what's happening on the scene. Really be active and stay close.
That is so important, and I'm glad that came up. Coach T, you've been through it again generationally. You've got some expertise at the top. Your dad he's still a part of it and he's around it. But for you, recent recruit, now a coach, what is the lead cost to transferring? In your mind, what do you hear? What do you know
about transferring?
Yeah.
People transfer for various reasons nowadays. It could be simply just coaching, team not fitting. So I understand a lot, like my teammates, they've transferred places, and I understand, like, from my dad, how he thought, oh, this is how something's going to be, or this is what a coach promised me, and it's not always like that. So he coach transferring is just it's kind of like the thing to do now. It's not
right
foreign anymore. It's not like, oh, one person you go to this college and you're going to stay there for 4 years.
It was pretty foreign when I transferred.
Yeah,
it was not looked upon as a good thing.
The norm.
It wasn't norm, and it certainly wasn't easy.
Yeah.
I'll ask you as a coach then, now that if you're trying to build a program, what are your thoughts on transfers? Would you rather have a transfer player, or would you rather have a high school senior who is brand new to you and kind of unpolished?
Both.
Yeah.
I would want both, because at the end of the day, you have transfers. They sort of kind of already went through the first year of college or whatever. They know the expectations. So having that vet, even if they're a transfer, having a vet in that sense can come and help guide the freshmen coming in. So as a coach, I don't look at it as, oh, I only want transfers or I only want freshmen coming in from college, from high school, because at the end of the day, both of them have to find their way, but having that vet helps the team itself, to me.
Mom, let me ask you, how difficult is it to sit and watch, just as family, and putting down your knowledge of the things that go on around it? How difficult is that for you?
To watch
Ramel Jr. and just be grandma rather than somebody that went through it with Rock, somebody that's been around you. It's not new to you anymore. The business can sometimes bleed over into your experience.
Well, the thing about my station in life now, if you will, is that I raised a really strong man.
Yeah.
And he said that I'm still the head of the family. And that's not a fact. You know, I sit back and allow him and his wife to take their role. They're good.
Mm-hmm.
They're good. And I trust and know and believe that they will take care of whatever Ramel needs. And I'm just here to be grandma. Mm-hmm. So if Ramel needs to talk about something other than basketball, then I'm here for that. You know, when I talk to him, if he calls me, first of all, I'm shocked. What do you need?
Yeah, right.
You know,
right.
Oh no, Granny, just want to touch base. Okay, then we'll chat. I may not even ask him anything about basketball. Let them work on that. I can be other than that for him.
This has turned into a very special day. 3 generations of the Lloyd family, and now they're here in Lincoln. And a big part of why I wanted to do this show was to explain to Lincoln who they are, and to open their eyes to the world outside of them. There are some good folks in the athletic program. There's some good families connected in this, and Lincoln got better when the Lloyds got here. I tried to tell people that. I tried to tell people that before they got here, but now I want them to know. We'll throw it to break, and we'll let them go ahead and relax a little bit. But Queens, it has been a pleasure. Thank you for allowing me to be curious about you and share you with our fans. We're going to break more Lloyd's in Lincoln when we come back to the ticket.
Yes, sir.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034. Start your electrical career today.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning. Now in our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Show from 8 to 9.
.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Dance like a dad. It's a great way to make a moment with your kids.
First, I hold my hands out like they're on a steering wheel. Then I look over my shoulder. Next, I put it in reverse.
Visit father.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Can I go to the sleepover?
If there's any drinking, I want you to say, no thanks, not my thing.
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Sponsored by DHHS and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Serve Nebraska believes that volunteers are part of what makes Nebraska great. Each year, the Step Forward Awards honors volunteers from across the state who serve their communities in outstanding ways. We hope you'll join us this year at the Step Forward Awards luncheon on October 27th in Omaha. Help us thank volunteers with a celebration to remember. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. We hope to see you there. Paid for by Serve Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me, I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
My early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
But it gave my mom and me more time to plan, together.
Talk to your family about seeing a doctor. Go to alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Lloyds and Lincoln with your hosts, Ramel Lloyd Sr. and Ramel Lloyd Jr.
Welcome back to it, Lloyds and Lincoln. Again, I want to thank Mom Pam, daughter Taylor, for joining us in segment one to share some insight and some love, because that's pretty good stuff. 402-464-5685. We see you, Chris Rath, man. I know you're out here doing your thing. You are appreciated, kind sir, for what you do. Rock, it's an interesting time. The NBA Summer League comes up. Mm-hmm. It's coming up. But the draft.
Yeah. We didn't talk about the draft.
Let me ask you about Big Vic. Right, because from a talent, like I lean towards not wanting to give too many flowers before they're earned.
Right, absolutely.
But I'm going to ask you, as a talent, where do you, what comes to mind when you think of Big Vic?
You know what, he's people are attracted to uniqueness, right? So obviously he's a great talent basketball wise. You know, he has. His potential is through the roof, but the thing, he's a unicorn. The true sense of a unicorn is what he is, and that's what the attractiveness is. You know, he's probably what 7'4", 7'6",
like legitimate,
right? Like legit,
yeah, 7'4",
right? 7'4", and his wingspan
7'4", 7'6" wingspan,
7'6"
wingspan.
So just that, first of all, guys are getting drafted now just for their measurements, not just for, but raising their stock because of their resume, because of their length.
Yeah, because it's a thing you can't can't teach or
You can't
coach.
teach that. You're born with it, right?
Like, I mean, we got to shake when you shake hands with people.
Yeah,
tells you a lot.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you said,
like,
you just go, wait a minute, bro. Those aren't human hands.
It's just not normal.
Those aren't human hands
normal.
you possess, bro. That's not.
Yeah. And his skill set, is to me, he's a combination of Kevin Durant and Ralph Sampson.
Boy,
is what I see.
Boy, you went. Yeah. I actually went in a different direction because I said Kevin Garnett and Ralph Sampson.
Oh, you said Ralph. We both have Ralph.
Yeah,
Sampson.
I had the big
say KD because he faces up and shoots the ball.
Well, but I think I always said that Garnett's face-up game was underrated. Like his post-up game gave him.
But the difference is, DP, is the timing of when they played, because Garnett would have probably looked a little more face up and threes if he played now.
Yep.
Right? Because he can shoot it like that.
Yep.
But then Biggs, they just didn't want Biggs to be shooting those kind of shots. So he shot more 15 to 18 feet. But he could have easily stepped out to the three. So I think if Garnett was playing in this time frame, then that comparison for me would be right on.
But the Big Dipper, his ability to go from one side of the lane to the other, there's no, it's him and Ralph Sampson. Like I've never seen, like I had never seen any. He would unfold.
Yeah. That's what I see, though. I mean, I see it because especially on the defensive end, he's effective like that. He changes shots, he blocks shots, he covers the paint, and offensively he has so much in his tool.
Are we asking too much of the young man before he gets there? Is there too much hype?
I don't think there's hype sells, right? So it doesn't matter what he turns out to be. The fact of the matter is, he's making a lot of people a lot of money off of his hype. And they're going to continue to exploit that until it is what it is.
Yeah, there's a lot of money in it. There's a lot of money in this game.
Yeah.
Jay Foreman and I were talking, and Eric Strickland, we were talking. And to me, it seemed like this year's draft was really young. Like everybody who walked up on that stage looked brand new.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
Like are we asking these young cats to come up and do too much?
No.
Because they're
I don't think so. I'm gonna tell you.
I'm gonna face grown men in the league, man.
That's okay. That's okay because first of all, the roles are being reversed. College is old, pros are young.
That's the next question.
So some of these college teams are average older than some of the younger NBA teams.
Plus with COVID, an extra year,
so on and so forth. So at the end of the day, league guys are looking for, especially with the new system of the NBA G League. The development process has changed things. You don't have to you're not getting drafted off of your readiness to compete and right away all the time. They have a development system now, almost like baseball minor leagues.
So this is an offshoot. Does a part of you kind of resent the fact that this didn't exist when you were coming through?
You know what?
I could see. First of all, I see you in the D League.
Mm-hmm.
I could see you in the G League.
Yeah. Well, I did play in the first D League though.
Yeah.
The very first one I played in down in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I was down there with Coach Tiny Archibald.
Right. You came through Utah and y'all played down in
did play all that.
Yeah.
You know what? I can look back and be resentful about a lot of things, but what changes my whole attitude towards it is that fact that I went through so much, either negative or positive, just experiences in general. It prepared me to do what I need to do for my son.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I don't really have resentment. Even the whole transfer thing and everything I went through, it was really God preparing me to help me for my guys.
NIL.
Of course. I mean, that's the biggest thing in the room right now.
Game changer. It really is.
The biggest thing in the room.
If one has to exist and one can no longer exist, transfer portal or NIL, which one's the face of college basketball or college athletics?
You're gonna get me in trouble because I'm gonna start telling too much stuff that people don't really know, and it's
I'm not. Listen, I will fall on the grenade for you because here's what I'll say. I think ultimately it'll come down to either or, and I think business, big bank take little bank.
Yeah.
transfer portal is little money. NIL is big money, big deal.
NIL is not going anywhere. And the transfer portal, it won't go anywhere. It'll be modified, is what I think it would happen.
Okay.
Right. I think right now, both NIL and transfer portal is just kind of new. It's kind of open. It's not really set rules. I think both of them are going to be modified somehow. How, I don't know. But NIL is not going anywhere.
Yeah, NIL's. I'm actually going to say this out loud, especially watching last night's College World Series and the conversations that happened after that. That NIL is going to grow
absolutely
before it shrinks.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to have to get to a new ceiling before it does anything.
No, I agree.
Because there are too many folks doing well with it. There are too many.
Absolutely.
Let's go into. So my dude Bradley Beal got traded. And okay, so first of all, you know how much it hurts me to watch Washington be who they are.
Yeah.
Why won't they let me love them?
Yeah.
Like
well, you still gotta love them, fan. You gotta stick through it. You can't be fair weather, DP. You gotta stay with them,
man. So what happens? Let's go through it. What happens with Bradley Beal and that trade to Golden State? What does that mean?
No, isn't he at Phoenix?
I mean Phoenix. What does that mean for
Chris Paul to the Warriors?
What does that mean for Phoenix? And then what does Chris Paul to Golden State mean?
Well, Chris Paul obviously had a just outstanding career, and he's at that stage now where he's probably can become a great mentor, and he'll still give you those great games here and there, but they won't be consistent. When you get older as a player, what people don't understand is that you don't lose your skills. You actually get better as a player the older you get
at managing.
You get better. You get better. Like your skill set, your mind, everything gets better. Just your body goes the other way.
But they don't need. But Golden State doesn't need 82 games of
don't need 82 games,
right?
They might not need him at all to the playoffs, to be honest with you, right? To come in and do his thing. So, but for him to be playing so long and to be playing at this high level for such a long time, that's just great within itself. Whatever happens with him, it doesn't matter. He's already proven and done what he had to do it with his career.
What does Beal, Booker, KD
championship or bust?
Really that deep, right?
That's what they bring him in there.
And
championship
and
or bust.
I mean, so if I had to ask you to rank, think about this. Like Denver's still Denver.
Yeah, Denver's tough.
Denver's still Denver. Yeah, LeBron's still LeBron, and the Lakers are still the Lakers. Then you're not even getting into the Clippers, who are sitting with three potentials, they're one hiccup away from, and then we don't know about what happens in Houston. We don't know. So if you had to rank the top four teams in the West right now,
I can't even do that right now.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I can't. well, first of all, obviously, number one is Denver, no matter what, until someone beats them. Right. So that's an easy pick right there. As far as these other teams, we're making all these moves. We got to see them play. I can't give anybody any ranking right now until we see how that chemistry goes, how the team goes. A lot of things. These teams give up so many assets to get these. What people don't understand is like you get these super teams, which is great. You got 3 super mega stars, but they're not the only component to winning championships. They're talented. Like they're going to be who they are no matter where they're at. It's usually the other guys on the team, the glue guys, the guys that have specific roles are the ones that get you over the top to actually win these championships. Because you take KD, you put him anywhere. He's going to give you the same points, same stats, same whatever. The other pieces are what's making the teams get over to the next level.
From a baller standpoint, vantage perspective, what's a team going to have to do to beat Denver?
Denver's tough,
right? Is there because somebody asked me that and I didn't have an answer.
First of all, they're going to have to be able to match their physicality and their size and their length. That's the first thing you have to do with them, because Denver is capable of playing in different styles of play. They can run with you, they can slow down, they can be physical, and then the NBA is all pick and rolls, and their pick and roll game is immaculate right now. So
that's some Larry Bird, Kevin McHale.
You really don't stop that, right? And they've mastered it. They have mastered it with Murray and Jokic, of course, and he's such a great passer that it makes it even.
And Gordon is I think slightly
underrated.
Yeah,
and what he does.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
he
those
dropped
guys,
27 in that role player game they're talking about.
That's
Took
what
him
I'm
over the
talking
top.
about. Now he ain't gonna give you 27 every night. That's not his role.
Right.
But when you give up so many assets, like you lose players like Gordon, right? What's the other kid that came off the bench?
Brown, they're going to announce
Brown, right?
Brown.
So those guys win championships for them.
Mm-hmm.
So you lose them when you bring in these superstars for the contract wise. So Denver is put together like perfectly. I don't know if they get that guy Brown back. I think he's
that money's that discussion.
He got to go do what he got to do. He got to get that money.
There's still that tax apron coming up too,
he
which
gotta
is going to throw a lot of teams off. Which
Exactly.
that's a big subject to get into. But
well, how do you make? Well, I mean, that's a good discussion. Think about this. He is going to. I mean, we're talking about generational wealth.
Yeah.
In this next contract for him.
Yeah.
Now you can stay put and enjoy your experience playing with Denver and getting all the benefits and perks of being on the world champions and learning and not having to carry the burden.
No.
But that money, we're talking about he's going to make what 10 times, 5 times what he made?
He has to go. He has to go and get what he can. We said it's like sports is an opportunity, not a career.
Yeah.
Okay, so you gotta take advantage of the opportunities while you can, because you will not be playing for a long time, no matter who you are and how long your career is.
That is that crazy money, man. I'm trying to think. Is there a coach in the game that could override that money thing? Is there a coach in the league that players want to play for more than others?
In my mind, I'm sure there's coaches that they would want to play for, but in my mind, basketball at that level is a pure business, and you have to make sure that your business aspect is taken care of first before anything, before any feelings, because you're disposable to a team, which people don't understand. Fans get all caught up in players making the best decisions for themselves and their family, but they don't realize as soon as they're not able to play at that level and stuff, what are the teams going to do? You're done. Like they don't have any compassion for you. Or,
What?
You know what I'm saying? So
you mean the parade doesn't really?
Come on, man.
Okay,
Come on. Man.
I might throw
Stop it.
Spoelstra up there. He
Yeah.
keeps some veterans on the bench.
I love Spoelstra. I love Miami organization, period, because they build the right way, and what they do is they're a little different when it comes to that, because they take care of people that are loyal to them.
Yeah, I'm blanking on his name. Who's the veteran? He's been on the bench forever. I'm totally.
I know what you're talking about.
Let me look it up real quick.
Play for
Adonis Haslam.
Floyd.
Yes,
Adonis
thank you.
Adonis Haslam. Took me a minute.
Yeah, he's been there for his whole career, and I don't even know if Adonis was.
But that
drafted.
used to be that used to be a thing, because Florida, he was somebody at Florida.
Yeah, for sure.
But that used to be a thing, that the 12th person at the end of the bench was the next coach, like was a coach. Like that was, we made that discussion. John Thompson used to say his favorite dude on his team was the dude who he spent the most time with, was 12th man.
Sure, yeah.
He's like, because that
sat next to you the whole
right, like he's standing next to you, and he's listening if you're paying attention.
He did go undrafted though.
He went undrafted,
2000,
2000, because he's around my age. I remember that.
Well, that's that's a whole nother discussion, is the value. The value of being drafted and the freedom of not being drafted, because in some cases it's worked out. And then the other side of it is, and I'll get your answer to it when we come back, but I'll give you this to ponder. What happened to college basketball that international ball and travel ball and elite is taking over the draft? Why is college basketball not producing that 1 through 7 talent like it used to? We'll get that from Rock Lowe when we come back.
CP trying to get me in
The
trouble.
Ticket Water Cooler.
I feel like sometimes when we have Hall of Fames, and this is no disrespect to Frank or Gary Pinkel, who got in last year, the longtime Missouri coach. Shouldn't there be a different Hall of Fame for like Gary Pinkel and Frank Solich
Like
and
the Hall of
Tom Osborne
the
and Bob,
Hall of
you know,
really,
Bobby
really,
Bowden?
really, really, really good.
Right. But what, like you said, the distinction usually is first ballot, or unanimous or whatever. So that's usually kind of the distinction that you can make there.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, you got any gum?
Yeah, check my backpack.
What's this?
Oh, that's naloxone. It can reverse an opioid overdose. I decided to always keep it on me after my friend almost died. It saved his life.
I'm so sorry. That makes me want to have it with me too.
You totally should. Check the pharmacy. It was actually really easy to get, and it's easy to use.
I definitely will. Thanks.
paid for by the CDC, sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Our lives only have so much time. But if you smoke, you have less. Your life could be 10 years shorter, and the time you do have is often with health problems, shortness of breath, asthma, COPD, and cancer. But the minute you quit, your body starts healing.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line. 1-800-QUIT NOW. 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Adoption from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de The Alzheimer's Association y The Ad Council.
Veterans, do you know what local, state, and federal benefits and services you're eligible to receive? Do you want help navigating the application or appeals process? Speak to your county veteran service officer or the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs State Service Office to see what's available to you and your family. You've served our country, now let us serve you. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov today. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're listening to Lloyds in Lincoln with your hosts, Ramel Lloyd Sr. and Ramel Lloyd Jr.
Welcome back. I threw the lob.
Oh, yeah.
Backside. I gave him room.
Yeah,
Rock Lloyd finish.
I'm timing it. I'm getting ready to catch that thing and reverse it.
Finish.
So the question. Give me a short answer, a short version of that question again, so we can.
So in the NBA draft, you had international players and development league players rather than college players.
No.
Why?
There's a couple of different levels to this question to be answered. I'll start off on the European side first. First of all, European side, they develop players and they evaluate talent. They figure out who the talent is, and they start developing players to be pros from day one. They're not preparing their college. They're not preparing their athletes or their basketball players for college. They're preparing them to be pros. 13, 14 years old. When I played in France, in Europe, the system goes as if they have junior league. They have junior teams for each pro team that you play on. Those 13, 14-year-old kids practice with us every day. They lived on a facility. They take them away from their homes. They live on a facility. They go to school. They play basketball. They train. They turn 15, 16. If they're really talented, they move them up to the pro team. They start to play on pro level against grown men, 15, 16, 17 years old. So they're preparing them to be pros. Here in the States, obviously, we are preparing guys to be pros as well. But the draft is being a little bit more taken on by the European side because of their earlier preparation. Our college kids, with the way the game has been changing, with the transfer portal that we just mentioned, and NIL, the game has become much older in college. That doesn't mean it's become more talented. So the value for experience, the value for older, stronger guys is much higher in college because those are things that college coaches need to win games at this level. They're not necessarily trying to develop pros. They're trying to develop people to come and help them win games and be successful at the college level.
And keep their jobs.
I didn't say that, but I agree.
Oh, I did it. I sure did.
So I'm not saying that that's the case. Obviously, there's always exceptions to the rule. I'm sure college coaches are extremely excited about their guys when they do go on and they do become pros, because that's also a different type of representative for the school as well, that, hey, we got this many pros that came out and so on and so forth. But I'm sure a lot of those guys would rather have these guys stay and develop and continue to make sure the program in the school is successful moving forward. So that's kind of where we stand. That's why you see a lot of these young guys. The young guys are coming out, and the game has changed so much. It allows them room to grow. They come in, they can go to the G League, they can sign an NBA deal, but they still can develop them. They're not expecting them necessarily always to come in right away and make a major impact against these grown men. So we're starting to adapt a little bit with that G League. I want to shout out to my guy Jason Hart too, who's the head coach over at the Ignite. He's doing a great job. I believe he had four picks this year in the draft. And so we're starting to develop, kind of taking a page from the European side of things. So
if you're a college program that's trying to enhance your standard and change your brand, why not go get a Jason Hart and pay him what's required and have him not only develop NBA players, but also win college basketball games?
I'm pretty sure that colleges have been out looking at Jason Hart. I think he's happy where he's at. I know he started at USC. Well, he started at Pepperdine, I want to say, for assistant coach, and he went over to USC. So he moved from the college game onto the pro game. I think it's a great opportunity for him. I see Jason Hart as being an NBA head coach pretty soon at some point, to be honest with you.
Is that where the better coaching is, in the development rather than college?
I think the better coaching and development is probably at the D2 and D3 level of college basketball, to be honest with you.
Say that again for the people in the back.
Yeah. That's probably where the coaches are.
Woo.
Yeah, I mean, we can go on and on and on about these things.
No, well, this is why we load up each week, and we get after it again next week, and we'll do this again next week. Rod, man, listen.
There we go. Lloyd's and Lincoln.
Mom, daughter, thank y'all for adding to. That is when you know value is in the room. Family over everything, man.
It is.
It means a lot. Rock, we'll do it again next week. Don't go anywhere. The Breeze coming up on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com.
Yes, sir.